Today's video will be about the life lessons that growth and working in the art industry have taught me, the kind of thinking principles that can help you build your own art career. Tell me who your friend is and I will tell you who you are. Our environment shapes us. We nourish each other. And I want to do exactly that right now. I want to share the principles of thinking that helped me and continue to help me build my path. They took me from being a complete beginner, self-taught artist to international art curator. And the first principle of thinking is the principle of surplus. The principle of surplus means that you should always give more than you ask for, offer more than you seek, give more than you take. This is what will save you from so many mistakes. The number one mistake that we don't know where to go when we're lost, especially in an industry like art, which for centuries was built on exclusivity. The word itself comes from to exclude. So many things happen exclusively through connections. So many artists make the same mistake. They write with requests. They know they need help. They know they need contacts. They want someone who has already gone through this path to help them. And they do a brave thing, which I respect. They write to established artists, curators, gallerists, asking them for support and help without offering anything in return. But in art, in human relationships in general, one of the most important skills is to be able to create value. We will still talk about what value of art is in a separate video, but this principle of surplus opens so many doors. It rewires your consciousness from reactive to actively moving forward. When we act from surplus, we offer a lot. We think, what else? What kind of useful thing can I bring to the table? This slightly unbalanced exchange in your favor when the person on the other end always receives just a little more from you than they expected, always leaves them wanting to return to you to balance that exchange. I don't actually like to think in these categories and simply reformatting your thinking so that you stop viewing relationships as buying and selling transactions to close, but already qualitatively improves your life. But the best place to start is this principle of surplus. The second principle is that if you want outstanding, not ordinary results, we know that unfortunately less than 10% of artists actually earn a living from their art. If you want to be among those who achieve outstanding results, you need to do actions that the 90% who fail to achieve them do not do. And all of these actions come down to one simple skill: the ability to keep performing the targeted actions even when you don't see results. It's not so much about discipline as it is about consistency. Of course, the actions need to be the right ones, directed at the right targets. You won't see results. But you return to these actions and you do them again and again until the result comes. Most people don't have this skill because we live in an era of fast dopamine when we crave immediate results. It's much easier to focus once and give 300% in a short burst than to invest small, regular effort without visible results for some future payoff. But this is exactly the skill that will put you into that 10% and help you achieve your goals in any field, not just art. Delayed gratification. And the next trick of thinking is a little psychologically narcissistic, but it's incredibly helpful. It is to cultivate an inner confidence that the desired result you want in the future has already happened. You simply have to go there and take it. It already rightfully belongs to you. This is a mental trick I live with constantly. There is a very interesting observation from the world of sport. The athletes who arrive at major competitions and take the top places are not those who came to see who's better, but those who are internally convinced that they are the best and have come simply to demonstrate it. This is a very fine line that borders on an inflated sense of self-importance. It is very important not to cross that line into arrogance. The boundary lies between God-given talent and the belief that you're taking something away from others. We're not taking anyone else's talent or achievements. The world is abundant. There is room under the sun for everyone. Your place under the sun exists, and you must prepare yourself to go there and take what is yours. This mental principle, the success in the future, has already been claimed by you, that it belongs to you. You simply have to right there and take it. Helps enormously, because there's nothing harder than constant, monotonous action without a visible result in a moment. The only thing worse than that is constant monotonous action without a visible result in the moment and without the confidence that in the future the result will come. That deep confidence that everything will work out is it allow us to continue performing those monotonous actions without immediate results. What actions am I talking about? What actions should you do? That, in fact, is the whole subject of my work, to tell you what those actions are. I can't quickly answer it in a short video, because for each person, the targeted actions will be their own. By the Pareto principle, there are 20% of actions that create 80% of a result. But those 20% will differ for each person. It depends on what you do, where you are, what resources you have, time, your wishes. The next very important principle is to build your career following a vector that goes from inside outward. Then looking where it will be most welcomed rather than the other way around. What does this mean in practice? Again, this is not just about art. I built my life this way in every sphere, and I recommend and wish you the same. First, a spark is born inside us, a fire, a large life goal and task, and it is out of this that we act and look outside for where it will be most useful. And it is to this that blessings, money, opportunity, and people come. The opposite situation is that we don't know where to go. We lack this vector coming from our center, and instead we try to let the world define what vector and look for what sells now, what's interesting, where we shall go. But if we don't have this inner established core and direction, we will always feel an inner emptiness. And if an external trends and situations change, we will feel as if everything we have achieved is literally slipping from our fingertips. Without this inner fire, there's no motivation to perform those actions that will not give immediate results. We give our future, our success into the hands of the external world, a world that is changeable. This also deprives us of the opportunity to dive deep enough into the direction of our activity so that we truly become an expert. Art must be born from within. And the level where your soul is tickled and twisted by the theme, one direction, the direction of development. Only after that do we learn how to, as artists, can tell our conclusions and our journey into this direction using our visual language. And then we'll look for where to apply it, what form in the external world this internal journey can be told with the greatest benefit and where it will be most relevant. And finally, the last bonus principle of thinking, it is to be an explorer of opinions. To be the kind of person who doesn't live in easy categories. To be the kind of person who digs down to the truth. The world very much wants to control us and deceive us. It wants us to simultaneously feel that we know absolutely nothing, that we live trapped inside our own illusion. It tells us that, in fact, many truths exist in parallel. And this is a very dangerous way of thinking, which knocks the ground from under your feet and leads to people allowing evil in the world to go on and to accept their inner vector being led astray, because they adopt the theory that there are many truths. But there are not many truths. There's one truth. There can be several perspectives on it, several facets of what truth that you have discovered for yourself. You may not have a full picture, but that does not mean that there are many truths. Why is this important for artists? With our art, we literally can change a person's way of thinking. We need to be very careful with that. We need to take responsibility for it. But visual language instantly sips into the subconscious. It is absorbed by human attention and plants seeds of certain thoughts, certain perceptions of the world. Therefore, what you transmit, what you plant inside your works, you can control. You can control the thoughts and conclusions you will propose. How a person perceives it will depend on their own filters, but you control what you propose. That is why it is so important before you cultivate a certain type of thinking in your viewers to first arrive at a clear opinion and a feeling that you have come close to a truth, that you absolutely understand what are you about to offer. To do this, of course, that is already much, much more difficult.